hope you're going to build a business. Know it.
Everyone has an opinion about network marketing. Some swear it changed their lives. Others say it's a scam. But here's the truth. Most people talking about MLMs don't actually understand how they work. So today, we're cutting through the noise. Welcome to Lock and 2 Level Up. I'm your host, Jay Jabin, and this episode is called Network Marketing in 2026. What's fact and what's fiction? And as you're listening, I want you to think about your own experiences or questions, because at the end of this episode, I'm going to ask you to jump into the comments and keep this conversation going. Segment 1. Why MLMs are still talked about. Network marketing has been around for decades, yet it still sparks strong reactions. If you've ever had a strong opinion, positive or negative, I want you to remember that thought and drop it in the comments after the episode. No judgment, just real conversation. In 2026, the industry looks very different than it did 30, 20, 10, even 5 years ago. Without a doubt, this business marketing model has gone through many changes since the 1970s. Now, imagine that the internet did not exist for a moment. We know it's hard to imagine, but try. Put yourself in a time where you could not get any information at a click of a button or on a mobile device. Where would you get the information you're seeking? Most likely you would go to an expert, salesperson, library, university, and so on. This is why network marketing, multi-level marketing worked so well in the past. I have a business opportunity to discuss with you. Your prospect may reply, "What is it?" You would respond, "It's a lot of information to discuss right now, but I am having a meeting this week about it. What's the best phone number that I could reach you and give you the address?" That prospect, out of curiosity, need, or greed, would give you their phone number. Chances are that they would show up to your meeting wide-eyed and excited. The good old days before the internet. In today's digital world, anyone can post virtually anything online. It's only a matter of time before someone comments on your meeting through a blog or social media. Those posts may be positive or negative, dig into your social media presence, spread false rumors, or even challenge the credibility of your opportunity. This happens today all too often in network marketing. How then can you continue to use the network marketing techniques that work so well in the industrial age, but no longer work in the information age? Can these old school tactics work? Sure, anything can work to get immediate results. The question is, can you also have long-term results only using old school marketing concepts? Of course not. So, what do? You start searching online for answers in the ocean of information. You may be one of those serious network marketers that are overwhelmed and confused by what you read online. Again, any average Joe can post anything online. You do your own research, looking for the right answers to help you in this business, and yet you still continue to struggle. So, guess what? This video series is for you. Segment 2. This is probably the number one comment I see online. If this has ever been your belief, or if you still feel unsure, comment below with why. Is this something you experienced? Something you saw? Something you were told? Because understanding where the belief comes from matters. Now here's the fact. A pyramid scheme is illegal and always collapses because the money comes mainly from recruiting, not from selling real products. New participants' fees are used to pay the people above them, and without constant recruitment, the entire system falls apart. When recruiting stops, the money stops. An MLM, or multi-level marketing company, is legal in structure, but often controversial in practice to those that confuse it with an actual pyramid scheme. In theory, the income is supposed to come from selling actual products or services to real customers, with participants earning commissions from their own sales and, in some cases, their team sales. If it follows FTC rules, it's legal. But the real test is this. If recruiting disappeared tomorrow, a legitimate MLM should still survive by selling its products alone. The primary purpose of network marketing is to market, or better said, sell a product at retail. Without sales, you have no business. Your MLM opportunity provides a product at wholesale for you to flip at retail. At least that's how it was originally intended to work. This seems very basic, but most people don't understand this. Sales is simply the exchange of money for goods or services people want. No matter what job or career you choose, you are always selling something, whether it's a product, a service, or your time. When you work a job, you are selling your time to an employer who owns the network. We live that reality. We sold our time to employers so we could sell their products and services through their systems. One of us worked in an AT&T store, the other worked at a community college. One was a sales representative, the other an academic counselor. One sold cell phones, the other sold college courses. One sold phone plans, the other sold associate degree plans. Different titles, same role. We were both in sales. We were cogs in the machine. Our paychecks looked different, but the model was identical. Trade time for money while building someone else's business. To make ends meet, we even took on part-time jobs alongside our full-time roles. We waited tables, drove for Uber, proctored exams, and worked as janitors. Sometimes we'd run into people from our NM opportunity while working those jobs. Moments like that make you wish for an invisibility cloak. Anyone who has ever bumped into a prospect while working a full-time or side job knows exactly what we mean. Modern-day slavery did away with the shackles on your feet and put them on your finances. Today's economic and financial system is built almost entirely on debt. As Proverbs 22:7 reminds us, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Without going too deep into the weeds, even the dollars you earn are created through debt. For $1 to enter circulation, it must first be borrowed into existence. That's the reality of a debt-based economy. Don't take our word for it, do your own research. A great place to start is money expert Mike Maloney in his video series Hidden Secrets of Money. Once you understand how the system trades your time and energy for what it calls money, something shifts. Your mindset begins to change. And that shift is essential if you want to succeed in business. We strongly encourage you to pause here and watch episode 4, The Biggest Scam in the History of Mankind. In short, the monetary system functions like a legalized Ponzi scheme, a pyramid where elite banking families sit at the top. If you're an employee, as we once were, you're at the bottom. That's hard to hear, but it's the truth. Now for the good news. What if you could create your own version of a monetary system on a smaller legal scale? You'll never be a central bank, but you can become the next best thing. A successful entrepreneur who controls their own company and income. It starts with a paradigm shift, rethinking network marketing, and making a real commitment. As Yoda famously said, you must unlearn what you have learned. That means shedding years of conditioning from your upbringing, schooling, and even your uplines. Real change only happens when you decide to commit to becoming a true business person. The reality is this. Early on, progress requires deliberate planning, consistent hard work, and full commitment, often with little to show for it at first. That's the build phase. Once the foundation is in place, the equation flips, and focused, minimal effort can produce outsized results. There will be a stretch where your business demands your time and energy, but with the right guidance and strategy, that phase is temporary, not permanent. Segment 3. This one hits close to home for a lot of people. If you've ever tried network marketing or considered it and this fear stopped you, I want you to comment top or too late and share your thoughts or questions. Let's talk about what actually determines income in 2026. Income isn't based on luck or effort alone. It's driven by the value you provide in the marketplace and how hard you are to replace. The economy has changed, but the rules are clearer than ever. Income follows demand, leverage, and scalability. First, skills matter more than titles. What you can actually do and how well you can do it determines your earning power. Skills that are rare, technical, strategic, or hard to automate command higher pay. The more problems you can solve that others can't, the more leverage you have. Second, the industry you choose sets the ceiling. Some industries generate more revenue and profit than others, and pay reflects that reality. Technology, healthcare specialties, engineering, finance, and data-driven roles generally pay more than industries with thin margins or oversupply of labor. Hard work in a low-paying industry still produces low pay. So what do you know? Network marketing companies exist in higher-paying industries. Third, supply and demand decide wages. If many people can do what you do, income stays flat. If few people can do it, or few are willing to, income rises. This is why specialization beats generalization in 2026. The best paying MLM companies require you to obtain a state or federal license to operate, such as real estate, insurance, financial, and legal services. Some MLMs operate in saturated, low-margin spaces like supplements or basic skincare, where competition is brutal and differentiation is weak. Others operate in higher margin or recurring use categories. The stronger the margins and repeat demand, the higher the income ceiling. Supply and demand still decide everything. If thousands of distributors are all pitching the same message to the same people, income flattens fast. A strong MLM gives you a market that isn't exhausted and a message that doesn't sound identical to everyone else's. Leverage and scalability are the entire promise of network marketing, but not all companies deliver it. True leverage means systems that allow growth without proportional increases in time. If success depends on constant meetings, nonstop recruiting, or personal hustle with no automation, the leverage is an illusion. Company structure and financial health matter more than motivation. A well-capitalized company with stable leadership, transparent compensation, and long-term incentives can pay. A company that constantly changes pay plans, launches gimmicks, or overpromises is telling you it's struggling. Technology is a separating factor in 2026. Companies that integrate automation, digital onboarding, compliance-friendly marketing, and scalable tools give distributors an edge. Companies stuck in old-school tactics force you to trade time for income. Negotiation in MLM shows up as positioning. The top earners don't just sell products, they sell clarity, leadership, and credibility. If the company's messaging makes you sound like everyone else, your earning power drops immediately. Finally, ownership mindset matters. You don't own the company, but you are building an asset, a customer base, and a distribution network. Choose a company where customers can exist without becoming distributors. If the system only works when everyone is recruiting, it's not leverage, it's churn. In the end, choosing an MLM company is about alignment with reality. Income flows to real value, real customers, real demand, and real systems. Keyword there is systems and not just the promise of one that is sold as a pipe dream. If there is a great system in place for training, servicing clients, and building leverage through duplication, then high incomes are possible. If not, then income is temporary at best. So, give us a like and subscribe. Join us on the next video as we continue to break down network marketing in 2026, what's fact and what's fiction. I'm Jay, and this is Lock In 2 Level Up, where we break down how to build leverage by learning the systems of the world and using them to our advantage.